You can also listen to us on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/The Clock Cleaners.
Hello and welcome to the Clock Cleaners podcast. I'm Matt.
And I'm Keith.
And today we'll be recapping Raw from July 31st.
Yes. Yeah, this was a decent episode of Raw. I mean, it ended at 10 o'clock, right?
It should have. That's the funny part.
Yeah.
See, there was nothing wrong with this episode of Raw, minus the choice in their main event.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You have the highlight, and then it's just like, is there really a point in watching this anymore?
So technically speaking, had they rearranged some things, it would have been perfectly fine, if not good.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
And I know exactly why they did it, and the reasoning is stupid. Because, remember how they put show with Strowman?
Yeah.
And it worked? So, let's do it with big cast. It has to work again. That was their thought. So basically what they did was they wasted a Raw. Because everyone's going to remember it for the crap ending. Yeah. No one's really going to care about anything else.
Let's compare the two shows. One had Big Show versus Cass. The other one had Shinsuke versus Cena.
Well, that's a completely different
animal.
See, because it's funny because everyone says that like Raw has like the main talent, but SmackDown has the potential for like big match after big match, right. But they just, still seen as like the lesser show for whatever reason.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that when we do SmackDown.
Well, that and the fact that SmackDown so far hasn't really been doing a very good job with their choices of feuds. So, more or less.
Fair enough.
Lately, at the very least.
Yeah.
All right, so this episode of Raw started with Kurt Angle coming out.
Mm-hmm.
He said he was glad to be back in his home of Pittsburgh.
Yes, and he's got more children to announce that are illegitimate.
Is that so?
Apparently. That's what I'm going to go with.
Sure.
All right.
Anyway, so he just says that he's glad to be home, and he was kind of just announcing what was going on in the show tonight.
Oh, before we get into it, did you see that picture of, I guess, Angle's family with Jason Jordan, and they were all wearing, like, the Angle shirts and stuff like that? Yeah. That's pretty bad.
All right. So he goes to leave, and then Brock Lesnar's music hits, which I was personally surprised
Yeah,
by.
I don't think he was announced at all.
Yeah, that and the fact that it really didn't make a whole lot of sense for Lesnar to come out with Angle. Because it's not like there was, besides the Fatal 4-Way, it's not like there was any, like, big news that had happened between the last time he was on and whatever.
But, they come out, and they're like, oh, you're trying to screw me, aren't you?
Well, that's what Heyman said, because Lesnar just sat there and stared at the crowd awkwardly.
Yeah. Nobody wants to hear his very high-pitched voice. But, basically, Heyman said that Angle was trying to put the title on anybody else but Lesnar, stacking the cards, being the ultimate sacrifice, which I believe he said.
Something like that. But yeah, he said that if Lesnar loses at SummerSlam, he's leaving.
Yes.
And so is Heyman.
Mm-hmm. Even though he's slated to be at No Mercy and I believe the Raw after or something like that.
Why does he care? You know what I mean? It's Brock Lesnar. He's made out of money.
True.
So it's not like he needs to fulfill any obligation because he doesn't care if he gets paid by the WWE anymore.
True. And then there's that talk of him going back
John
to the UFC.
Bones Jones calling him out.
True.
So obviously this is a play to try to, I don't know, maybe build a hype for a potential UFC fight with him.
I guess.
Because what they can do is just have him lose.
And then go crazy and suspend him.
They leave, and he goes, even if he does that, but if they just leave and then he doesn't make an appearance again until WrestleMania next year, you know what I mean? So
I would be fine with that.
Well, I think that's probably what they're going to end up doing.
Yeah.
Have him like come back sometime like February next year or at the Rumble, and he'll be a surprise entrant.
Yeah.
And this way you can let him do whatever he wants to do with UFC and then have him enter the Rumble. Let's say, for argument's sake, they want to do the Reigns versus Lesnar thing. Have Lesnar win the Rumble.
Yeah,
no one's going to care.
Yeah.
No one's going to be upset if Reigns is going in as champion. I think they'd probably prefer
Rather than him win the belt at WrestleMania? Yeah, I would say so.
Well, even if he retains, it's fine.
Yeah.
I think people would prefer Brock Lesnar going in as the challenger over...
No, that makes sense.
Because this way they don't have to sit through Reigns being the underdog, but not being the underdog.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a better way of booking it, especially if Lesnar's not going to be doing anything anyway.
Yeah.
Because even if he is champion, his contribution is going to be minimal.
It's true.
So him not being on TV is just as good as him being there.
Makes me happy.
So,
yeah. So up next we had the Hardys versus Gallows and Anderson with the Revival on commentary.
It wasn't a rematch. It was like
a couple weeks ago it happened.
Yeah, and then they said that they were paying him back for last week because there was the confusion where Gallows and Anderson were getting distracted by the Hardys.
Yeah. So all the Revival were on commentary. They basically were bolstering their feud on Twitter, which is pretty good because
Matt Hardy called me an obsolete mule, whatever that means.
He would refer to... was the commentary team extra bad?
You mean during the whole show?
Yeah, in general.
Well, Michael Cole gets a little too excited about stupid things, and he called a lot of things wrong.
Unless it's the Superman punch. He gets it wrong. Booker T kept calling Elias Sampson, since he's no longer known as Elias
I was going to say, because I think I noticed that for the first time last night. That
that was the first time.
It. Okay.
But I'll get to that when we get to him being
Booker T's always terrible. Michael Cole is who he is, and Corey Graves isn't bad.
Stuck out more.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe you're just paying attention more than normal.
You know what? That's a very fair assessment.
Yeah. So... But the Revival, we're talking about how they're going to take down the Hardys, and they've never lost to the Hardys, and blah, blah, blah.
And the Hardys end up getting a win with a Swanton Bomb, which I believe they said, they've never beat us, or they've never done that to us. Meaning that the Hardys have never hit them with the Swanton Bomb either.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You just gave me a weird look, so.
No, I was just listening. But yeah, so the Hardys win. They celebrate at the top of the ramp. They... make eye contact with the Revival, and then the two of them start fighting.
Yeah.
And then
the Gallows and Anderson come up as well.
They participate in the fighting.
Yeah, I
and
guess.
The Hardys ended up on top.
Yeah, Anderson and Wilder got thrown off the stage.
Yeah, like underneath where the commentator table is.
And then, what was it? I don't remember what happened to Gallows.
I don't remember.
Yeah. I know Dawson took a twist of fate on the stage, and then Jeff Hardy did a
Whisper in the Wind.
Yes.
When he jumps off of Matt's back.
Onto Anderson and
Wilder?
Wilder, yes, on the floor.
I know it was one from each team.
Yeah. So. But yeah, I guess we're maybe going to get a three-way for a number one contender.
That would make sense just because otherwise they're not doing anything of importance.
I mean, it's got pre-show written all over it.
Yeah, so it's either that's going to be it, or it's just going to be the Hardys and Revival. And this could be when they do the broken thing, like we had said.
I guess, yeah, that's possible.
They're kind of building up Matt's weirdness on Twitter with that conversation.
And they had a WWE exclusive again, like after the show and stuff like that, talking about, I don't remember what he said, but
so that would be
more hinting.
That would be my guess.
Yeah,
just because that would make the most sense.
It's true.
All right. So up next was Renee Young interviewing Dean Ambrose.
Whenever she interviews him, her face completely lights up. It's funny.
Yeah. So she asked Dean if him and Seth are going to get back together, and
since they're a married couple,
yes,
divorced now.
Yes. Anyway, so Dean says that he still doesn't trust Seth. He may have enjoyed their match last week, but he still doesn't trust him.
The eyes in the back of my head the whole time. That's what he said.
That's true.
Yeah. You got to see it coming.
What,
Dean's
turn?
definitely going to turn on him.
All right.
It's got to be.
Yeah, we'll see. So, anyway, up next. Because Seth walked up during this, right?
Yeah, that's when he walked up, and I don't remember. I don't think it was anything.
He was kind of pleading for him to
Right.
to stay with him or whatever. And But he's like, I don't trust you, and then he up and walked away.
Right, yeah.
And Seth looked very sad.
Mm-hmm. And then as he was walking backstage, he walked past Cesaro and Sheamus, and they were kind of like, I forget what they said exactly.
Well, they said that you don't have any friends.
Right. They said, we used to be enemies, but we have this thing called trust, and that's what's made us stay together.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, you should do your own show on the WWE Network called Ride Alone.
Yeah, which is funny because Seth and Cesaro did a ride along together not that long ago. Well, it was probably a while ago, but it didn't come out that long ago.
Probably another show that's going to be canceled. Well, since all those budget cuts.
I know, but Ride Along was really good.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't cost that much to make.
You saw that they canceled the Edge and Christian second season?
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
They waste so much money on stupid things. They get rid of all the stuff that we like.
No more pyros, though.
What?
They got rid of the pyros.
Really?
Yeah. For cost savings.
Really?
Even Becky's entrance doesn't have the smoke anymore. Nakamura, they got rid of it. Even the beginning of the show.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just don't notice.
Yeah.
I don't really.
It's not
because it doesn't matter.
Well, that's what they were saying. I don't remember where it might have been with Meltzer or something like that, but they basically said it doesn't add anything to the show. People aren't going to tune in to see the pyros, but
well, it was a big thing back early in
Yeah.
like the 90s and stuff. It was a huge thing, but I think they kind of just continued to do it because that was a thing that they did,
Right.
not necessarily because it was a draw.
But this set up a match for later on tonight between Seth and Sheamus, which both good wrestlers, so
yeah. Well,
can't really complain.
Any match with any of these three is good, which is crazy when you think about it. Because
I was hoping to see Cesaro on Seth, but we can see that next week.
Yeah, it's always anything's possible. But it's funny because a year ago, Sheamus was like the most hated wrestler on the roster. And now
I don't even know if he gets the "you look stupid" chance much anymore.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Because people, like them now.
Yeah.
So, anyway, after that, we had a cruiserweight 6-man tag.
I believe the only cruiserweight segment on the show, right?
Well, most of them were right here. Technically the
the
title feud
right.
was here.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was Tony Nese, Arya Daivari, and TJP. Versus Rich Swann, Cedric Alexander, and Akira Tozawa.
Yeah, so they had a tag match on 205 last week. It was Alexander and Swann versus TJP and Tony Nese, and it was a really good main event.
Yeah,
for
it was
the
a
show.
really good match.
So I think they were kind of like, "Oh, you guys did a really good job. Let's add the."
And instead of having Tozawa versus.
Well, they have that on 205.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though, because I don't know what else they would do if they
Yeah.
didn't do this anyway.
Mm.
So, but this is another good match.
Yeah. But you have the chance to have all the spots, stuff like that, like they did in the tag match where Swann and Alexander jumped over. Well, I think Alexander went over the ropes and Swann went from the top rope to the outside, and then that's when Tozawa did his suicide dive through the shoulder.
I was gonna say because Tozawa has been dealing with a shoulder injury, or at least according to the story, he has been. And then he did the suicide dive, and he still ended up picking up the win by hitting TJP, I believe, with the senton off the top rope.
Rich Swann hit him with something, I believe, with TJP, and then he tagged him in and went up top and hit the senton.
Yeah, it was the blind tag, and then he did the senton.
So, a good match.
Yeah, those 6, 5 of the 6 are probably the most consistent in terms of entertaining matches.
I don't know if I'd put Daivari and Nese. They seem to be the lowest.
Well, I was Nese for the most part is in good matches.
Oh no, his.
So because he's another one of those. If he has the right opponent, it's good. Well, Daivari is obviously not who was the.
No, but I mean he's been stronger recently.
Yeah, but he's also been working with the better.
Fair enough.
So
the 2 top guys.
Yeah. So
then what do we get?
So I think that this is where this was, because I wasn't going to put it in because I didn't realize what was going on at first. But it was Roman Reigns. It was
when they were hyping the match.
Yeah, it was a video package to hype up the triple threat match.
Yeah,
later
about
on
his accomplishments and all that nonsense.
Yeah, saying it's basically
Joe thinks he has my number, but
basically it's just like a rehashing of everything that they said the last few weeks. So it was a completely throwaway thing, but I figured I'd just throw it in there.
It ate up time though.
Yeah. Well, because like I said, they did one for Joe and Strowman later on, so I figured I'd throw it in there. So up next was the, for some reason, hyped up episode of Miz TV with special guest Jason Jordan.
I love when I texted you and said, "Oh, this could be interesting." You're like, "I guess," and I was like, "No, I didn't mean actually interesting.
I didn't think it was going to be interesting.
I was going to see how spoon-fed the lines were to Jason Jordan.
See, that makes a lot more sense.
Which it really didn't disappoint.
You mean in terms of the not so goodness?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're gonna be 100% right here. Hey, it pains me to say that.
I know, but it happens.
Well, especially we'll get to SmackDown, but
yeah. Basically what happened was he was kind of just kind of brushing off whatever Miz said when he was talking about him, and then he started talking about Angle. And he's like, "Don't talk about Kurt like that."
Yeah, not my dad. Don't talk about Kurt.
He didn't say that, though.
I know, no. He said Kurt. That was it.
So
people are up in arms about it as usual.
Yeah. So he gets annoyed, and then the Miz kind of just, for some reason, he went to attack him. Right.
Well, they kind of. I think Jason Jordan started to get into his face, and then Dallas and Axel came in front. And then Miz was like, no, I got this, guys. And that's when I think he hit the Miz, and then everybody.
Yeah, he threw him into Dallas and Axel with a belly-to-belly suplex, I think, or an overhead belly-to-belly. So that was kind of funny. And then he just gets out of the ring and leaves.
Yeah, I mean, he can do his talking in the ring, but when you have... I don't know. You know what? I can't say that. I'll have to give him a fair shot.
Well, no.
To see where it goes.
He's also... This is his first outing as a...
No, I know. But even on SmackDown, in the limited time they had, when the American Alpha had mic time, it wasn't very good.
Yeah, it was...
When Jason Jordan was the one...
Yeah, it was very...
It just seemed awkward.
Yeah, it was very few and far between with that, too.
I mean, they might be worried... And they're just kind of, like I said, spoon-feeding him the lines. Everything's written for him, so...
Yeah, well,
that always makes it feel worse than it actually is.
It's true. But, hopefully he'll figure it out. But we'll see.
Which I think the rumor is it's going to be Miz and Jason Jordan for the IC title at SummerSlam.
See, that's not a bad idea.
Well, like I said, he's good in the ring.
It's not a good time to do it, though. This should be, a B pay-per-view thing.
Well, especially since the Miztourage is really just starting to gain traction. I mean
that and they're not going to be used against him.
Right. And who are they going to put with, you got to have a 6-man tag with him.
Well, there's it's going to be
Rhino and Heath Slater again.
Most likely.
I guess that's true.
Because I was going to say maybe you can intertwine a different story, but you really can't do that. But yeah, that's a good point. But even if because it does obviously seem like that's where they're going, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for the biggest pay-per-view or the second biggest pay-per-view of the year to have the Miz against Jason Jordan, because Jason Jordan really hasn't proven himself yet.
No, but I think that kind of leads to maybe what they're going to do in the future. About him getting special privileges and stuff like that.
I guess that would make sense if Kurt Angle comes out on Raw next week and says that he gets this.
Right.
And this could potentially lead to maybe some kind of...
Well, actually, The Miz brought that up when he said, that you're the boss's son, so you're going to get special privileges.
So what would actually kind of be cool is if he does that and then someone else comes out and it's like a multi-person match.
Yeah.
It's like, how come he gets an opportunity? It would be funny, and this actually could happen, where Kurt Hawkins comes out and gets pissed off and challenges Jason Jordan.
Lost 100 matches in a row.
But that'll at least eat up a week of TV.
Yeah.
And kind of give Jason
I haven't put you through this. Oh, no, he did. He
did. He put it last week.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but it's anything's possible. Like I said, I think that this is not a good time. It's kind of a waste of the Miz for SummerSlam.
Yeah, but if anybody's gonna help him,
it's going to be the Miz. Yeah.
All right. So up next we had Seth Rollins versus Sheamus, which was a hard hitting match as expected. Usually, any match Sheamus is in is pretty brutal.
He's a big, strong man.
But Seth gets the win with a roll up.
Yeah, it was weird because he put all his weight on him, and usually that doesn't work for whatever reason.
And then did he run out of the ring?
No, what happened was they are upset because he got the upset victory. So Cesaro comes in, they start beating up Seth.
Right, but I thought Cesaro came in first and was like, "The hell happened, Sheamus?" And then maybe that's then when they started beating him up. Yeah,
and then he gets beat up. Crowd starts chanting for Dean.
Yep,
nothing. They go to leave. They turn around, and Seth's looking at him.
Yeah,
or I guess he's looking towards the entrance, and then they're like, "What's he looking at?" And then they go back into the ring, start beating up some more.
Our whooping's not done yet, boy.
Yeah. And then that's when Dean comes out.
Yeah.
And then they both get their asses kicked, which was kind of weird.
Well, they had Seth down, and then Dean comes out, and they put him down.
Yeah.
So yeah, this looks like we're gonna get a tag title match at SummerSlam between both teams.
I'm 100% okay with that.
Oh, absolutely.
I said,
and you can do this. It's not like the Hardys aren't good. Say the club had the titles or something like that, and they were going to face, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. On paper, that looks terrible.
Yeah,
you have Cesaro and Sheamus versus Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. It looks like it's good. It's like, okay, that's
it's also the same story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No,
because they both are coming together, not necessarily of their own free will. But like I was saying back a few months ago, I kind of wish they'd take Roman Reigns out of the title picture and put him with Seth, have the two of them team together, because that would help get Reigns over. But
who knows what they're doing now? There's so many moving parts that Reigns, I think, is not really.
Oh no, he's not going to be involved with anything like this.
No, but I mean, he's not even the main focus in the.
But that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. You don't need to do this.
Oh, I'm not saying that right now what they're doing with Reigns is bad. My point was that they could have done that to help establish him more.
Yeah, no, I understand completely.
So anyway,
but like I said, they don't know. Who knows what's going on?
It's true. Anything could happen.
It's true. So yeah, then we got another Samoa Joe video package with him hyping up the match later on and going down his accomplishments and all that nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to Matt's favorite part of the night, Bray Wyatt.
He actually did a promo in the ring.
Yeah.
It's not very common.
It's incoherent, but, basically saying, "Why you people in the Balor Club? Why don't you join my cult, man?" Just going on about his normal nonsense.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, he basically
calls out Balor.
Yeah.
And then Balor, what happens is the lights go out.
Yeah, and then it flashes red like the demon, signaling the demon.
Yeah, because he was specifically mentioning the demon, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
And then
I actually watched it twice and still
don't know what he's talking about. So yeah, the lights come back up, and it has Balor facing away from the entrance.
So he has learned to teleport.
Yeah, Bray is waiting or looking at the entrance. Balor's facing away from the entrance on the other side of the ring. And then Bray turns around and he sees Balor and he
starts laughing.
Yeah, he tries to sneak up behind him.
I guess.
And then he gets hit with I guess it's a Pele kick, right? They didn't call it that, but I think it's only AJ who gets it called Pele kick, if I'm not mistaken.
Sure.
So that's what happened there. And then it just ends after Balor kicks the crap out of. Oh no, he throws him out into the crowd.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then he just leaves.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, I don't know.
We're actually going to see the demon at SummerSlam.
I would definitely assume so.
So maybe this is an attempt to make Bray Wyatt more. I don't know.
It's tough to.
Whatever.
You just have to call it what it is.
Crap.
Pretty much. So up next we had the Strowman video package. Now this was the worst of all three. I'm not like most men.
Yeah, it's all throwaway stuff.
Basically calling people keyboard warriors and all that nonsense. But
yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
So at this point in time, it's 9:45.
Yeah.
So
Right before the show was gonna end.
Yeah. So, and this is where they decided to put the triple threat match.
Because I think Joe came out first.
Yeah.
No, Braun came out.
Well, they said it was coming up next.
Yeah.
So it's not like it was a surprise of what was coming up next. But so 3/4 of the SummerSlam main event is starting or ending the second hour of Raw one week, which is very funny.
I think, like I said, when I was listening to Meltzer, he had said, "I wonder what the third hour ratings were after your main event happened during the second hour."
Yeah. So, this is a good match with they're all basically kicking the crap out of each other. Roman and Joe teamed up a few times to take out Strowman. And obviously to no real avail.
Strowman was locked into the coquina clutch outside the ring, and that's when Roman interfered, which I don't know. I would let him do his thing.
The wrestlers are dumb. I think we know this already.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but it ended up with, I believe Strowman got knocked out by Roman throwing stairs at him. And then he hit Joe with a spear for the pin. So I kind of had a feeling that Roman was going to win.
Yeah, it makes the most sense this way, considering he's probably not going to win at SummerSlam. So you give him this match, which is fine.
Yeah, well, it's like you said, it's
a
good
consolation prize.
Yeah, pretty much. So
thanks for being in it. Here you go.
Pretty much.
Throw a bone your way.
Yeah.
Well, he is the big dog, so you know.
It's true. Also, it's not very telling for how everything's going to go at SummerSlam, which is good. There's no real indication, so keep it that way. Better off. So up next, we had a locker room segment.
Yeah,
where Big Show and Enzo are talking about Big Show's match with Big Cass later. And
that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
nothing really needs to be said.
No. It was just Enzo trying to hype up Big Show.
So up next, we had Elias. Not Elias Sampson. Elias. You wrote Elias Sampson.
Well, it's because at this point in time, I didn't know that they dropped the Sampson.
Yeah.
So
he lost the Drifter.
Yeah.
Now he lost his last name.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
It's just going to come out. He needs to be El Vagabondo.
Yes. Or that guitar guy.
Yeah. So I guess he's from Pittsburgh. That was his home, I believe.
Oh, I don't know.
Because he came out to, I believe, a bunch of cheers. I was like, oh my God, is he getting cheered? And then all of a sudden he started bashing Pittsburgh, and then it turned to booze.
Apparently a lot of people in the wrestling industry are from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Corey Graves, Kurt Angle, apparently Elias.
Yeah. So yeah, Kalisto came out. Apparently he was his opponent.
Well, yeah, because he was, like you said, he was singing about Pittsburgh, and then he stopped singing, and there was like, oh, let's see who his opponent is or something like that, and then it was Kalisto's.
Yeah. So
like,
I was like, whose music is that? Oh,
like,
that's Kalisto.
Really?
That's right.
Really?
And in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't know. Kalisto's had a lot of upset wins. This could be one of them, but nope.
Nah, I didn't think so.
Beat the crap out of him. The best part is how good they talk up Samson during commentary.
Are you talking about with Michael Cole?
Yeah, and Booker, and just Corey Graves and Don no selling it, just getting so mad. It's so good.
Michael Cole keeps on coming up with ridiculous stories that don't make any sense. Like they said something about Elias Sampson's scarf.
Yeah.
And how it was made by some kind of Italian tailor. It was for Heath Ledger, but he passed away. He gave it to him. I'm like, where do you get this stuff?
Oh, man. And then Corey Graves is like, no, that's definitely not true. He bought it from a place over here or something like that.
I thought he said he found it.
He found it. Yeah, whatever.
So.
Oh, come on. You got to get on board.
No, it's just, it doesn't make... If they liked him and didn't make up absurd... You know what I mean? It's just weird.
The mystery of Elias.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, he won the match with the Drift Away, which I guess is his swinging neck breaker.
Yeah.
Beautiful move.
So, it's... Obviously, they're trying to build him up.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, up next, we had a backstage interview. Alexa Bliss being interviewed about, I guess, what
Bailey
she felt.
SummerSlam
how she felt about the result of the match last week. She said she's happy that Bailey won.
We've seen I beat her once, and then she couldn't be extreme, so I beat her again.
Yeah. And then she said that Bailey's match against Nia Jax later on is going to be a massacre.
Yeah, which we've seen that match
a lot of times.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
Because basically, Nia Jax is probably the woman that wrestles the most on Raw.
Yeah, and she's like I said, she's getting a good crowd reaction.
Yeah, well, she's a little more defined of a character.
But like I said, her social media stuff's pretty good. So, like interacting with fans and things like that. And like I said, that whole thing with her and Gallows and Anderson always making fun of Mike Rome, pretending to sweet him and then calling him a nerd. It's good stuff. Oh man!
All right.
Yeah, we had a backstage segment with Seth and Dean again. So yeah, basically Seth says to Dean that he thanks him for saving him, and Dean basically said, "Well, I had to, otherwise I'd look bad.
It's true.
Like a jerk."
So
yeah,
that was it.
That was that. And next we had the women's match, which I believe was the only women's segment on the show.
Well, less the interview, yes.
Yeah, 10:30. I think this happened, right?
Yeah, it was towards the end.
It's like, oh yeah, the women are still here.
Yeah.
Don't forget about them.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad match.
No, but
I liked how Nia Jax did the Bailey ponytail thing. That was cool.
Which I don't know if it's storyline or actual, but Bailey got hurt during the match.
Really?
She got a shoulder injury. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, I mean, unless they play it up, but I mean, they kind of already make Bailey weak as it is.
Well, that and the fact that SummerSlam's only a couple weeks away.
Yeah.
So
3 weeks away, right? I think.
I don't know if they're really in the position to be doing an underdog injury story with her.
She's already the underdog.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find out next week when Sasha Banks is named the new #1 contender.
Yeah. Yeah, Bailey ended up winning this match by countout.
Yeah.
So Alexa Bliss came out, and I guess she went to attack Bailey, right? Would she come out from the crowd, or was she out the whole time?
I want to say she probably came out like normal.
Yeah.
And she just happened to run around because
all of a
Bailey,
sudden she just showed up.
Yeah, because Bailey had knocked Nia Jax out of the ring. And then Bliss attacked her from behind, but she ended up evading her, and
she was standing over by the steps.
Yeah.
And Nia came charging at her, and Bailey jumped in the ring, and Nia hit the steps and got counted out.
Yeah, so Bailey ended up picking up the win.
And that was that.
So yeah.
Yep.
If Bailey got hurt, then we'll find out. On Monday next week.
I don't know what the plan is there. But, up next we had a backstage interview with Cass. Basically, he said he's going to teach the Big Show a lesson in respect.
Yeah.
I'm done.
And I'm going to just keep on repeating what I've been saying. Just hope that what's next is good.
Yeah, I know.
So, okay. So now we have the main event that should not have been the main event.
Yeah. So Enzo came out first, right?
Yes, and then he did his thing.
He did his thing, and Corey made a comment that said, "I heard he's not a good tipper." And Booker said, "Yeah, I heard that too." Apparently, he was in a strip club and going on and on and on about how much money he made and all this stuff, but apparently he was very cheap there. So the girl, I guess he was rude to her and stuff like that. She posted it up all on Twitter and everything. So, yeah.
I was going to say, I knew that he had some kind of incident with a strip club, but I wasn't sure exactly the details.
And I know we're going to watch Bring It to the Table after, but I had seen a clip, and they were kind of asking about Enzo's heat backstage because he got thrown off the tour bus by Roman Reigns and stuff like that. He got the Miz treatment.
Yeah.
And JBL was like, I've never seen somebody come back from that. The Miz is the only person that's ever, basically the writing is on the wall at that point.
Yeah.
And Corey was asked basically if he liked Enzo or not. And he said, what you see is what you get with Enzo. Him in the ring is what you see out of the ring.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, if we're on tour and everybody's exhausted, Enzo's going crazy telling us how he partied with some guy, So, yeah, basically they're not too fond of him.
Interesting.
Yeah. And they both agreed that he should be in 205 Live.
Oh, JBL.
JBL.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I guess it's not the worst thing in the world.
No, not at all.
I was going to
suggested that a while back.
Yeah, if anything, it would kind of like energize.
Yeah, which when we get to the SmackDown review, I'll tell you something else that happened.
All right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this was them going. Okay, we got we got Strowman over with good matches with the Big Show that main evented Raw, so it's got to work with Big Cass.
Right.
It didn't.
This wasn't very good.
No. So basically, before the match even starts, Big Show attacks Cass, which was weird.
Yeah. Broke out.
Yes, he hit X. He hit X to break out. But obviously, Cass is able to overcome this. He ends up actually knocking out Big Show with Big Boot.
Yeah, and then Enzo comes in the ring, right?
Yeah, he's sitting in the corner, I guess, waiting to hit him again. Then Enzo attacks him from behind.
And that was it.
And then that threw the match out. And then Big Cass ends up beating down.
Yeah, he hit him with a big boot.
Yeah. He kicked the crap out of
Enzo.
Yeah. And then Big Show hit him with a KO punch. And that was it.
Yep.
So that was a horrible, horrible way to end Raw.
But I guess, the fact that Reigns did win the match, too, could have soured some people as the ending.
Maybe?
I don't know.
But they've never been shy to let Reigns win a match.
And it's not like anything crazy happened after this match.
It's
just
true.
Ended, and that was it.
So it's not like the usual, like something's going to happen and that'll be a good end note.
Or, there was a possibility. Nothing was going to happen.
Yeah.
Not good. This was our Raw review.
Yes. If you liked what you saw here, please like, share, and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.